When I first started my wealth building journey, I would spend every single dollar I made, and I had no idea where my money was going. And this led me to be so incredibly frustrated that I did not know where my money was going. Now, at that time, I did not make much money. I made $30,000 per year, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. And there was one thing I did to completely turn my money around, and that was use a zero-based budget. So today, I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to set up a zero-based budget. Now, for some people, using a budget is like scratching nails on a chalkboard and they don't even want to hear anything about budgeting. But with a zero-based budget, this is a powerful way to change the way you think about your money because you are thinking forward instead of thinking backwards. And the way that a zero-based budget works is that you are only using dollars that you already have. You're not using any dollars that are just magically maybe going to come into your account. Instead, you're only going to be using dollars that you have. And this is what set me up to change the entire trajectory of my budget. Now, one of my favorite tools to set up a zero-based budget is YNAB, but you don't need YNAB. I'm going to show you step by step how to do it without YNAB because it does cost money every single month, but I still use YNAB and I've been using it for 10 years. So if you're interested in tools or using something like that, YNAB is my favorite tool. So let's jump into the first step. Step one is you're going to calculate your income. How much money is coming in every single month into your checking account? You got to figure out how much you are making. Maybe you are married. If your spouse makes money and you both make money, how much money is coming into your checking account or coming into your household, because you need to take that money and give each and every single one of those dollars a job. And we're going to talk about that in step two. So the way that you can figure out how much you're making is pull out some of your bank statements for the last 6 months and see how much money is actually coming in and hitting your checking account every single month. Add up that amount and then divide it by however many months that you have available to you. Step two is you're going to list expenses. So you're going to take out those same bank statements. You're going to look at all your expenses that you spend money on, what you regularly spend money on, and you're going to look at those expenses and figure out how you're going to categorize those expenses. So for me specifically, I get pretty specific when it comes to my budget inside of YNAB, but you can also do this on a spreadsheet, list out a bunch of different categories and get very specific if you want to, or if you want a less complicated budget, then you can just kind of lump some things together. But make sure you don't miss out on some of the big items. Some of the items that I want you to think about are if your car insurance, for example, is paid every 6 months, I want you to break up that 6-month expense into a monthly chunk, because over time, you're going to have those chunks available to you inside of that zero-based budget. Then by the time the car insurance comes due, there's no stress, there's anxiety. Guess why? The money is just there. And there is power in having the money just there. Same thing goes for something like Christmas, for example. If you save up for Christmas presents every single year, I want you to figure out, hey, how much did I spend on Christmas last year? And break that up into 12 months. And that's how much you're going to put towards your Christmas budget. You're going to spend the money on Christmas anyways. Why not already have the money there so you're not stressed during Christmas time? Think about all these different bills that you have during that time frame. Break them up into monthly chunks. That's another very important piece of this. But obviously, everyone's going to have the standard stuff. Maybe your mortgage, your rent, your groceries, your electricity, your water bill, your car payments, your car maintenance, your home payments, your home maintenance, and just go down the line and see what you want to do. But I also want you to have categories available for spending and having fun while you're spending money. So fun spending is a very important thing. If you're married, having fun spending for each of you that is guilt-free. You can blow it on whatever you want. If you love to golf, you can use it for golfing. If you love to do yoga, you can do it for yoga. All these different things need to be available to each person so you can enjoy your money as well. Then what I want you to do in step 3 is I want you to subtract all of your expenses from your income. What's going to happen here is one of two things. Either you're going to have money left over, and that's a fantastic thing to do because you can take that extra money, put it towards your investments, but I want you to have those investments also listed inside of your budget items. If it's not listed in there, then you need to take that extra money and put it towards investments. But if it is listed in there and you have extra money left over, you can decide what you want to do with that. If you're hitting your investment goals, you can decide, hey, maybe I want to invest this money for my future so I can become financially free even faster. Maybe I want to put it towards more vacations. Maybe you want to put it towards more fun money or spending, or maybe I want to beef up that emergency fund that I haven't built up all the way yet. But the other thing that could happen is this could be negative. And if it's negative, we have one of two things we have to do. We either have to cut back some of our expenses or we have to earn more income. So in the short term, we're going to have to cut back some of these expenses so that we do not have a negative balance inside of that spreadsheet and or YNAB or whatever else you decide to use. So just subtract those two numbers, make sure it comes out positive, and then what we're going to do is we are going to start assigning our dollars. So when you have this income in place, step 4 is to assign your dollars, meaning giving giving every single dollar a job. This is a powerful thing that was popularized by Jesse Meacham, the founder of YNAB. And what you want to do is give every single dollar a purpose or a job. Every dollar that you make needs to go somewhere. So, for example, every time you get paid, you got to figure out, what do these dollars need to do for me to get to the next paycheck? Because this is what zero-based budgeting is. You are budgeting all the dollars you earn down to zero. They go somewhere so that inside of these categories, you have some place to put these dollars. This is going to allow you to get ahead over time. What you're going to notice is I'm assigning all these dollars to these categories, and these categories are starting to beef up a little bit. Maybe you have some extra dollars to put towards vacation. You can go on more vacations because you do this. This is going to allow you to really take control of your money. This is the powerful part about budgeting. So since you have all those expenses listed out and you've developed some of these categories, the next portion is to refine your categories, because as you go through some of these months, maybe you need to add some categories, maybe you need to subtract some categories, but making sure you have your categories all put together is the next step. Over time, this is going to take some time. Listen, you will never, ever, ever have a perfect budget at month in and month out. I never have in my entire life. I always miss something, forget something, you overspend somewhere else. Life happens. Get over it and move on to the next month. That's what the most powerful thing and the cool thing about budgeting is. Learn to forgive yourself. This is an amazing way to really take control of your money, but you got to learn to forgive yourself. Now, step 6 is to track your spending. So every time you spend your dollars, you want to make sure that you are tracking that spending so that as you have these categories available, then that spending is going to make those categories go down month in and month out. This is where YNAB becomes very powerful, because when I use YNAB, you can just track the spending automatically and you don't have to go in there every single day and have to categorize everything all at once. It'll start to automatically learn what your categories are, and it'll automatically do this for you. So it saves a ton of time, ton of headache. It's like, and for the monthly cost, it's definitely worth it for the amount of time it saves you. Disclaimer, YNAB does not sponsor me. I've just been using it for over 10 years. It helped me out so much, and that is exactly why we talk about it here. Step 7 is to make adjustments as needed. Life is unpredictable. Life is going to happen, and you just make adjustments as time goes on. Forgive yourself. Jesse Meacham from YNAB calls this rolling with the punches, meaning that every time that you set up something, and if it doesn't work out or you overspend, then just take money from another category and put it into that category. Rolling with the punches is going to be one of the most powerful things that you can do when it comes to zero-based budgeting. I want you to forgive yourself. So let's give you an example here to make this easier. If you overspend on groceries, for example, a big category a lot of people overspend on, but maybe you have some extra money left over in your clothing fund, then roll some of that money in the clothing fund into the grocery fund and move on with your life. Maybe you have to move it from 7 different categories to make it work, but still continuing to do that so that you can break even on your budget and make sure that you have a budget in place is going to be a very powerful thing that you want to do. Step 8 is set a time every day, every week, every month to monitor and regularly, consistently continue to budget. If you're doing this in a spreadsheet, you're probably going to have to do it every day because you're going to have to download your transactions every day. If you do this in YNAB, you could probably do it weekly or monthly. I do it every single day because I'm a crazy guy. You can do it as frequently as you want to, as long as you are making sure you at least, at minimum, do it monthly. Then step 9 is to stay disciplined and motivated. So making sure you stay disciplined, stay motivated, keep watching videos like this one so you stay motivated to continue to budget. You can't do this alone. It's not a fun thing you always have to do, but keep your eye on the prize, which is financial independence or freedom with your money. Step 10 is to use tools that will help you. So YNAB is the #1 tool that I use to help me, but there's a bunch of other zero-based budgeting platforms out there like Every Dollar and some other ones that are out there. Or you could do the free version, which is a spreadsheet. Listen, I hope you guys learned a ton about zero-based budgeting. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. We will see ya on the next video.